Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Benavides, and this is week 4 check-in for Social Work 502, um, spring of 2024. I'm getting ahead of myself. And today is February 5th of 2004. And so, forgive my raspy voice. I have been dealing with cold, some upper respiratory infection. Something's been going on for the last few days, so I'm a little bit raspy today. So this is check-in for week 4, and just really quickly, I read responses for the week 3 um, discussion on community conversations about mental health, and think you all did a really good job there. You took different parts of the guide, different suggestions, and some of you focused on engaging with personal stories, some of you focused on challenges, and some of you focused on macro level work, or how we, you know, can advocate. And so I think y'all did a really good job there, and was pleased to see that many of you focused on um, resiliency and protective factors, and you know, and also several of you talked about the negative portrayals of individuals with mental health disorders, in particular schizophrenia, in the media, in movies, in pop culture, in books, those sort of things. And so I think it was Janelle, Courtney, and Cindy that mentioned that, that that usually individuals with mental health disorders are seen as violent, in particular individuals that have been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and or any of the other disorders that fall under the psychotic disorders. And so I think that's important to mention because um, you know treatment is impacted by the perception of of society. People might not reach out to receive treatment because of the stigma around schizophrenia, and the fear of the way that they'll be perceived. And as Al mentioned in their response, one of the important things that we can do to lessen stigma is to talk about schizophrenia, talk about the realities of schizophrenia, and how the media and how the books and how the movies get this wrong, and how, as many of other people stated, how recovery is possible and people can live productive lives with schizophrenia and any other mental health diagnoses. It is a matter of being able to access the resources that and therefore the community has to be responsive to the needs of individuals with mental health disorders. And as long as these sort of misperceptions of individuals with schizophrenia or other mental health disorders continue to be spread through movies, or on the news, anytime there is some kind of mass shooting or something of that nature, it's always blamed on somebody with a mental health disorder. As long as those things continue, it is a barrier for community resources to be developed for individuals. that could benefit. So we need to fight the stigma around it. And I think, as I mentioned right now, Al made a really good point with the information, with many people sharing about neurodiversity and, neurodivergence, that that being open about what this is and how people live and experience it has allowed others to feel open to sharing their own experiences, and then maybe open to receiving or seeking resources in the community to help them live with a diagnosis. So well done. This week we're focusing on mood disorders. And there's, under the week 4 learning materials, this will tell you what the readings are. And then, of course, you have the week 4 discussion on depression and mood. So we're going to look at Anita's again. And so at Anita's case file again. And so if, you're going to complete the readings and watch the videos for this week, and you're going to list Anita's risk factors for developing depression and potential suicide, citing and referencing one or more of the videos. Describe why you think Anita is at risk for developing depression and or suicidal ideation. In addition, using the DSM-5-TR and the Francis text, review the Anita depression example below for presenting the DSM-5-TR symptoms reported by the behavioral manifestation sign symptoms, not too unsimilar to what you did for the week 3 quiz, but you're going to look at you're going to look at it from depression and suicide and mania, okay? So using the DSM-5, so the first part is the depression and suicide. The second part is making a list of the criteria for mania and supporting the criteria by stating next to the criteria which of Anita's behavioral manifestation signs and symptoms that in the case study that you see that could be possible evidence of mania. Do you feel that she meets the DSM-5-TR criteria for bipolar 1 or bipolar 2 disorder, and explain your rationale by using the DSM-5 criteria. All right, so excuse me. So that is your discussion for week 4. As always, your initial post, unless otherwise stated, your initial post is always due Thursday of the week in which it was assigned, and response to at least one classmate is due by Sunday of the week in which it was assigned. So also due this week is the clinical Vignet Part 1. If you haven't seen previous videos where I go over the assignment, please do so. But remember that, this is the first part of the Vignet. There's 2 parts. Part 1 is due this week. In Vignet Part 1, you're going to include the following: your introduction, data sources, identifying information, presenting problem, chief complaint, history of the presenting problem, and just answer all of these questions here. The psychosocial history, and including the background, strengths, supports, resources in your view, current diagnosis and medication, and then you're going to get into the diagnostic assessment. Now, this should look similar to what you did with the Anita case for week 3, in the sense that you're going to be you're going to list the individual or book character or TV character that you chose. You're going to list their behavioral manifestation signs and symptoms. You're going to identify or make a list of risk factors. You're going to then identify 4 possible diagnoses, one from each of the family categories of diagnoses reviewed so far. You're then going to, for each of the possible diagnoses, match the person's behavioral manifestation signs, symptoms, and risk factors with the DSM-5 TR criteria that is listed for each of the 4 possible diagnoses. You're going to then move from you're going to go from the possible, from all of the 4 that you've looked at, and decide on 1 provisional diagnosis and 3 differential diagnoses. Determine which one is your provisional diagnosis and explain your rationale for using that one. For the 3 remaining diagnoses, these will become your differential diagnoses. And then you want to talk about what are for the 3 differential diagnoses that you ruled out. You've ruled them out at this point. You want to explain your rationale for why these 3 became differential diagnoses versus becoming the provisional diagnosis. So remember, you have to provide a rationale for why you chose one of the 4 to be a provisional diagnosis and why the other 3 became differential diagnoses and therefore were ruled out as provisional diagnoses. You must provide a rationale using DSM-5 TR criteria. Okay, so very important. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Also, the week 3 quiz hopefully helped prepare you for this because you started working on, in the Anita case, putting together basically what you're being asked to do here to some degree, although here you're doing it with your own individual that you have chosen for this, and you're going more in depth. Remember that you are not to provide any sort of identifying information if this is a real person. If you're using a case from literature, from film, like from a book or from a movie or from a TV show, please make sure that you include who that is or what that is. What show you're talking about, or what book, those sort of things. All right. If the other thing is condition presentations are starting to be due, they're due on the Sundays of week 5 and week 6. So hopefully everyone is already working with their partner on their conditions presentations. All right. That is all for now. Take care. Bye.